we're working really hard to bring the level of women representation up, but I think that's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take a shift in culture, because if people are still saying, hey, this is a male-dominated job, what is the inspiration for women to come out and apply for it?
Jillian, that leads me to my next question then. In terms of the mayor and the city looking for the next candidate for NYPD police commissioner, what does that portend when you start looking at the structure in the city right now with Adams Banks and other men at the top of the NYPD and the example, the experience that Sewell has been through? What does that mean in terms of hiring another NYPD commissioner?
Well, I know that Mayor Adams is going to do what's traditionally done. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people now interested in the position. This is, one of the most renowned police commissioner jobs out there. So they'll probably start taking applicant, resumes coming in as of today, I'm assuming. And it's always going to be a former police chief or high-level executive from another agency.
Yes.
Most of the time, someone that's done something who has some recognition or notoriety. I think, though, that we are going to see a low applicant pool of women. And we have had a lot of great women police chiefs or acting police chiefs. We've had Carmen Best. We've had Yvonne Roman. These are women in other agencies who have just been so inspirational.
Jillian, I'm sorry, we're going to have to leave it there right now. Jillian Snyder is an adjunct lecturer at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, a former NYPD officer, and the head of criminal justice policy at the R Street Institute. Jillian, thank you very much. Come back and see us again, please.
Thank you.
Support for WNYC comes from Audible Theater, featuring new performances from Eva Noblezada, Gabriel Byrne, Andre Royo, and more this summer as part of Audible's catalog. More at audible.com/summertheater.
The cost of 105 feet.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Progressive Insurance. Customers can simplify their insurance needs and protect what's important by bundling home and auto. Learn more about bundling at progressive.com. And by Total Wine and More, where you can find a new favorite Chardonnay, sparkling wine, or tequila. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
From Marketplace, I'm Sabri Benishore in for David Brancaccio. This past weekend, a 105-foot overpass on the Interstate 95 in Philadelphia collapsed after a tanker full of gasoline caught fire below the roadway. The heat weakened the steel. One person was killed. The incident could cut off a section of one of the busiest interstates in the country for months. About 160,000 vehicles travel through the roadway every day, according to state officials. Marketplace's Henry App reports.
A lot of commutes just got a lot longer, and it'll cost those drivers, says Joseph Kane at the Brookings Institution.
Time is money, and that's going to lead to huge time lost.
Not to mention all the diverted truck traffic, he says.
This is a huge disruption, and in no way could have been predicted.
Unpredictable, but not unprecedented. In 2017, a fire caused a critical portion of I-85 in Atlanta to collapse, but workers rebuilt that elevated roadway in just 6 weeks. Robert Puentes is president of the Eno Center for Transportation.
There just has to be an emphasis on speed,
including the bidding process, he says. Tom Smith, executive director of the American Society of Civil Engineers, says an emergency can really concentrate minds.
One of the things we'd like to do is try to figure out how to have that same focus with all of our infrastructure.
Smith's organization puts out a report card every few years for the nation's infrastructure. Its latest grade for the nation's bridges, a C. I'm Henry App for Marketplace.
All right, let's do the numbers. The FTSE in London is down 0.1%. S&P and NASDAQ futures are up in the 1 to 0.4% range. The Dow futures are flat, down just 4 points. The yield on the 10-year Treasury is 3.741%. Some topics are more polarizing than others. Religion, politics, and tipping. We are taking on the latter here at Marketplace, and we would love to hear from you. When do you tip? When do you not tip? Why do you tip? If you have strong feelings about this, let us know. Send us an email with your views at Marketplace, morning report at marketplace.org.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Amazon Business. From small business to big enterprise and everything in between, Amazon Business helps simplify the supplies buying process. Amazon Business, your partner for smart business buying. And by UiPath, providing organizations the UiPath AI-powered business automation platform. More at uipath.com/marketplace. UiPath, the foundation of innovation. And by Affinity, helping investors navigate the relationship economy with the CRM built for private capital markets. Affinity.co/marketplace.
Systemic inequality is not a game, except for when it is. A board game, specifically. There is a game designed to start conversations and teach people about structural inequality with up-to-date statistics that illustrate the role it can play in everyday life. The game is drawing the attention of educators and companies. We spoke with the founder and CEO.
My name is Christian Telesmar. I'm the CEO and founder of Disparity Trap board game.
Here's the problem. Talking about race and privilege is hard, but at least you can ask your one black friend, as long as they have no job, no bills, and all the time in the world to cater to your overly dependent needs.
I came up with the idea for this game back in 2019. I had a dream about playing Monopoly and had the dice rolls of the game correlated to the race of the person playing. And I woke up thinking, oh, this must be a thing. So I looked it up online and couldn't find anything. And no surprise, Hasbro is not interested in that type of product. Before you start, everyone gets a pawn. Then everyone is assigned a position. A position is either systemically dominant or systemically non-dominant. And lastly, you're given some privilege tokens. So there's these tokens that are almost like currency in life. I've had plenty of conversations with people who weren't of color, who had a view of why don't people just pick themselves up by their own bootstraps? And I don't think they really understood the concept of a system oppressing an individual or a group of people. So I was like, well, let me see if I can find a way to make a game where you have your wonderful mindset person and you play in someone else's shoes against the system. Each time you try and get to a new tier, which is like a new level on the board, you have to play what's called a tier goal card, which is basically like a life milestone, like get a job, buy a home. And that's kind of like the climb of wealth we see throughout life. And then what a lot of people do is like, oh, I really want to create real estate. I really want to own real estate, have continuous wealth I could pass on, what we call generational wealth, which is something that is definitely a huge disparity. You're able to take the playing cards and scan it with your phone and go to the website and see the source. And then from the source, you're able to look at the statistics in more detail and basically feel like you're now more equipped. You're more armed or amped and excited and ready to have those conversations. And the message can get out much more quickly that we are in a system that is not built for everyone, and we want to fix that. You can land on different spaces. One of the spaces is a justice space where you play a justice card. And basically it says an officer has strolled by, roll the dice to see if you're stopped and arrested, or it depends on what group you're in, what position you're in, how bad it impacts you. I remember getting an email from a father who was playing the game with his son, and he said he enjoyed the experience of being able to take the playing cards and dive into the statistics. He never imagined how it was in someone else's shoes at his work or in school, like getting into college or starting a business. So it was really cool for him to be able to feel so excited that he could educate his son on something he couldn't even offer himself personally. It's a joy to be able to share just this little knowledge I have and I'm gaining throughout the years with others. And it's almost like I'm finding so many more people who have that energy, who want to be not just an ally, but an advocate. I'm just so happy that something that was an afterthought in my head became a forethought, became an idea, and became a board game. And now it's just full throttle forward. I'm super excited.
Our senior producer is Meredith Gerritsen-Morby. And in New York, I'm Sabri Ben-Achour with the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.